Hi, Mark here from newhometricks.com, and today I want to talk to you about Philips Hue Sync, which is part of the Hue Entertainment feature. If you remember, a little while ago I did a video about this when it was first introduced. The Hue Entertainment feature was basically Philips making a bit of an attempt at improving the situation for Hue users that want a better way to synchronize their lights with movies, TV shows, games, music, that kind of thing. Because previously there wasn't really a particularly good way of doing this. It mostly relied on using third-party apps. It was pretty crude and it generally didn't work very well. The Hue Entertainment feature kind of splits the whole process up into two parts. First, using the Hue app, you define one or more entertainment areas. Basically, this lets you tell Hue where you've actually physically positioned your color lights in the room where you're going to be using the entertainment integration with relation to where you typically sit and where your screen or display might be positioned. Then a hardware maker, all they need to do is to sort of enable the integration with Hue in a manner that lets you select the entertainment area that you've defined inside the Hue app, and that's the integration complete. The entertainment source would then presumably communicate to your Hue bridge which colors to display, and then the Hue bridge will work out the rest, figuring out which lights to display which colors on based on where you've told it they're positioned around you. So that's the basic process of how it should work. At launch, Hue announced integration with the Razer line of pro gaming products. But they've now also released the Philips Hue Sync software that you can install on your PC or Mac so that you can synchronize your Hue lights with whatever you're displaying on your PC or Mac screen. So you could be playing games, you could be playing a movie, watching TV, you can be playing music, you can sync with music as well, pretty much anything. And in that regard, it means that if your PC or Mac is your primary source of enjoying those forms of entertainment, then we now do have a way that we can synchronize your lights with that. So with that in mind, let's take a look at how it works. The first step that I'm going to take a look at is how you install the software on your PC, define an entertainment area, and let's get into it and see how it works. Okay, so what we need to do in order to get Philips Hue Sync working is first of all download and install the software from the Philips Hue website. So from meethue.com, you go to the Discover Hue submenu here and go to the Apps section and download Hue Sync. So if you click on that, that's going to take you to the Hue Sync page. The Hue Sync is available for macOS and Windows, and in terms of versions, it's saying that for macOS it's available for Sierra and High Sierra, and for Windows it's saying Windows 10 x64. I'm going to click on Windows here since that's what I've got installed, and it's going to download the Hue Sync installation software. So that's downloading away here in the top right, about 120 meg. Let's click on that and proceed through the installation process. So it's going to come and ask for administrative permissions, and then it's going to prepare the installation wizard. So this is just going to take a few moments to get ready. Okay, so still doing a little bit of preparation. Okay, so now we're into the installation process. Usual disclaimer about closing of the software first. I'm just going to go ahead and hit next. Where do we want to install the software? I'm just going to accept the defaults, hit next. Do we want to create a shortcut so that we can get to the software easily later on? Yes, that's fine. Hit next. We get an overview of what's going to happen, and then we hit install, and it's going to start doing the installation. So we're probably just going to skip through this process since this will probably take a few minutes. Okay, so once we get to the end of the installation process, it gives us a window to say that the software has been installed successfully, and then we're going to hit done to quit the installer, and there's a little tick box here to say, do we want to go ahead and run Hue Sync? So we'll leave that ticked and see what happens. Hit done, and hopefully that should launch the software. Okay, so the software is starting up. There's a little icon down here in the bottom right, Philips Hue Sync. Oh, here we go, it's up and running. Okay, so get ready to light up your entertainment. Help me set everything up. Been using Hue for a while, ready to go, jump right in. So I think that if you're a first-time user of Philips Hue and you're just getting started, you'd probably want to go with the button that says help me set everything up. But since I've got my Philips Hue system already installed and deployed, we'll just go ahead and say search for a bridge. And hopefully this is going to find my Hue bridge on the network and then allow us to control it. So here we go. It says one new Hue bridge found. There's also a terms and conditions and privacy policy to agree to, so we'll click the box for that and then go connect. And it wants us to push the button on the front of the bridge, which is the usual procedure for pairing. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, so once you've pressed the button and the Hue Sync software has linked itself to your bridge, it'll now search for any entertainment areas that you've got defined on your Hue system. Now, I've not yet defined an entertainment area. For that, you have to use the Philips Hue app for iOS or Android. So let's switch over to the app now and get an entertainment area set up. Okay, so here we are in the Philips Hue app and we're going to define a new entertainment area. So to do this, the first thing you can do is go over to the settings section of the app, and this is the familiar settings screen. Tap on entertainment areas and you get this introduction screen. From here, to create an entertainment area, tap on create and then select the rooms that you're using to create your entertainment area. So only rooms that have color capable lights can be selected, so you can see that the outside area is grayed out, so we can't select that because we don't have any color lights installed outside the house. So I'm going to choose living room, and then we can see all of the lights in that room, and you can then go ahead and select those lights in order to include them in the entertainment area. I'm going to select all of them and tap on continue. Now it then warns you that you need to make sure all of your lights are powered on and ready to go, and then you tap continue. Now at this stage you see a representation of an entertainment area. You see your screen and a little sort of icon of a sofa here, and you can now drag your lights around. And as you can see, it doesn't actually show you the name of the light as you're dragging it around. You're dependent on the lights flashing as you tap and hold them and drag them around the room. So you've got to observe which lights are flashing in order to identify which icon the light corresponds to, and then drag it to the appropriate location. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to drag the lights to the appropriate location corresponding to where they're actually positioned in the room. And once that's done, all the lights should turn green and you're ready to tap on the test area button at the bottom of the app here in order to ensure that everything's correct. And all of the lights will change color in accordance with the colors that you're seeing on the screen here. And you can check that everything's fine and tap on all good, and if everything matches, then you are able to proceed through to the end here. It now tells you that the entertainment area is ready. You tap on got it, and you can now see that we've got a new entertainment area. If you tap on that, you can go back into edit it, and this is a good thing to do because you can actually rename it, and I'm going to rename this to living room entertainment, so that then gives me a slightly more friendly name that I can find later on. And of course this is a good thing to do if you're creating more than one area. Okay, so once you've got hooked up, the process of using the software is fairly straightforward and easy. You've got 4 options here across the middle: scenes, games, music and video. Under scenes mode, you can use the Philips Hue Sync software to activate the 4 basic scenes of Philips Hue, which is read, relax, concentrate or energize. And here up at the top you can control your entertainment area in the same way that you can control lights and rooms by adjusting the brightness or turning all of the lights on or off. But what we're really interested in is these 3 presets for synchronizing the lights with games, music or video. Now if you go into games here, you'll be able to see a few options. You've got 4 intensity levels of light synchronization, from subtle, moderate, high and intense. By default it's set to high, and you have this option to also synchronize your lights with the music and audio effects coming from your games. If you switch over to music, you can synchronize your lights with music, and again you've got the 4 intensity levels. But of course here, because you're not synchronizing with the color and what's being displayed on your screen, you can choose a color palette that will be used to synchronize with your lights. And then finally you've got video. And again you've got the 4 intensity levels. This time the default is moderate, and again you can choose whether to synchronize with audio as well. And all you need to do in order to start the process is hit the Start Light Sync button. The lights will come on in your entertainment area, and then you can move this window out of the way or minimize it, and start playing your movie, start playing your games, start playing your music, and Philips Hue Sync will do the rest. Now, if I stop the light sync here, you can get into more settings by tapping on the settings button, and then it'll give you some information about which bridge you're connected to. If you have more than one bridge, you can connect to another one. You can have a look at the different entertainment areas that you've got defined if you have more than one, and of course if you want to switch between different entertainment areas that you want to work with, you can presumably click on the one that you want. And then you've got a few other things here. General preferences allows you to change language, adjust how much performance is how much CPU performance on your computer is used by the software. By default, that's set to high. You can choose whether or not Philips Hue Sync should start when your computer boots up, whether you're syncing with Razer peripherals here. For display preferences, you can determine whether you want the software to automatically detect which is your primary display, since that is the display that is used for capturing colors and synchronizing them with your lights. So if you have more than one monitor, you can choose which monitor you want to sync up with. And then finally, you've got some keyboard shortcuts that you can define as well if you'd like to be able to quickly enable or disable certain features within the software. And once you're done with this, you can hit close settings to go back to the normal window. So let's go ahead and have a look at how well this works. Okay, so now that we've got it all set up, I'm going to have a go at playing a movie on my laptop here. I've got the Philips Hue Sync software installed, and if I go ahead and play, I've got the Hue Sync enabled and active. You can see the lights are changing behind me here. Out of shot, there's a couple of other lights. I've got a light on the table in the corner and a floor standing light just behind the camera here. I've got my front-facing light that I normally use during video recording turned off, so I apologise if I'm a bit dull, but hopefully you'll be able to see the changes in the colour here that's going on. It is working, it is syncing up, and as I look around at the other two lights that are out of shot, I can also see that the colours are different in the different lights. So it is intelligent enough to pick up different colours on different parts of the screen and then synchronise them around you to different colours based on where you've told Hue your lights are in the Philips Hue entertainment area that you've defined. If I stop the video and just minimise it, it will pick up on anything being displayed on the screen. So now I'm just on my desktop and all the lights have now changed to the predominant colour of my desktop. So it does pick up on pretty much anything on the screen, but there are a couple of exceptions for that, which I'll just go through in a moment. Okay, so as you can see, that works fairly well. I did have one issue when I gave this a try the first time around, which was my initial attempt at playing a movie was through Netflix, and the lights didn't sync. When I went back into the Philips Hue Sync window to check that I definitely enabled it, I saw a pop-up message had appeared saying that I was playing protected content and that Philips Hue Sync might not work. So I think that this is down to the copy protection that services like Netflix and other streaming services use to prevent people from effectively ripping and copying movies and TV shows into an unprotected format to share online. That same copy protection is going to prevent software like Philips Hue Sync from seeing what is on the screen and then syncing your lights up. Because these days, these kind of streaming services are fairly popular, so it's fairly common for a lot of us, myself included, to get our movies and TV shows in that way. So if we're hoping to use Philips Hue Sync as a way to gain access to that kind of movie light synchronized experience, if you're using these streaming services, it might not work, which is unfortunate, but I can understand why that's going to be the case. Maybe that's something that can be fixed if the likes of Netflix and other streaming services, maybe they can partner directly with Philips Hue to allow a way for that to work, but that's something that would obviously have to wait and see if anything happens in that regard. The Holy Grail, of course, is still a little bit elusive, which is, you know, if you've got something like a smart TV, enabling direct integration between that and your Philips Hue lights, that's still not something that I've seen anything happening on. Now, Philips Hue have done their part of the work here. They've provided a way for hardware partners that, you know, manufacture TVs, for example, to integrate with Philips Hue. But it's going to be down to those hardware manufacturers to get on board with that and to enable that kind of integration with Hue and maybe with other smart lighting products that are out there. So it remains to be seen whether anything happens in that front. If I hear anything, I'll obviously let you know. But for now, this does seem to work as advertised in every other respect. It seems to work fairly well. So, you know, if you're looking for a light sync experience, if you're looking for that kind of thing, give it a go, see if it works for you and let me know how you get on with it. I have written up a companion blog post. You'll find the link to that in the description below, or visit the website newhometricks.com. If you'd like this video, please share it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.